We join you from the Alamo City, and this entire area is experiencing...
On November 8th, 2025, this Texas showdown delivered pure electricity, a legendary veteran battling the new generational talent, a surprising tactical masterclass, and some serious NBA Cup drama. The San Antonio Spurs stormed into Houston and didn't just end the Rockets' 5-game winning streak with a massive 121-110 victory. They made an undeniable statement. This was more than just a single win on the schedule. This was a preview of what the future holds. Alright, first, let's dive right into the main event everyone was talking about. The high-stakes showdown between a certified legend and the NBA's next big thing. This wasn't just any regular season game. It was Kevin Durant, future Hall of Famer, clashing with Victor Wembanyama, the league's phenom, in the Spurs' NBA Cup opening night victory over the Rockets. Durant, in his 18th season and leading a revamped Houston, was silky smooth as usual, dropping 24 points to pace the Rockets. But the real story? It was the young Frenchman's grind. The Rockets' game plan was clear from the jump: get physical and push Wembanyama around. Defenders like Josh Okogie, Steven Adams, and even the smaller Reed Shepherd were hands-on early, limiting Wemby to just 4 points and 3 turnovers in a frustrating first half. He was getting knocked around and kept out of his comfort zone in the paint. But everything changed in the second half. Wembanyama demonstrated remarkable composure and adaptability. He and the Spurs coaching staff adjusted beautifully, creating better spacing and encouraging quicker decisions with the ball. He stopped trying to force his way inside against multiple defenders and instead took what the defense gave him. By doing so, he not only got his own offense going, finishing with 18 points in the second half, but he also unlocked the rest of the Spurs' offense. Wembanyama finished with a strong all-around stat line of 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks, helping his team secure a crucial 1-0 record in the NBA Cup group stage. And here's the thing, while the young guy's team actually won, it also delivered on all the hype and gave us a glimpse of a superstar who can adjust, take a punch, and still come out on top. But really, who benefited the most from the Rockets' defensive focus only on stopping the phenom? Before we go any further, if you love basketball and you're one of the 90% who watch without subscribing, it's time to join the NBA Inside family. Click it, and let's live this season together. Alright, let's continue. While the Wembanyama-Durant duel dominated the spotlight, the real difference maker for San Antonio was an explosion of perimeter shooting. The Rockets' game plan to contain Wembanyama in the paint was, as we said, clearly effective early on, but still somehow, it left the perimeter wide open, and the Spurs' supporting cast made them pay big time. Houston coach Ime Udoka even admitted his team got punked and out-hustled, a testament to the Spurs' supporting cast seizing their opportunities. This wasn't an accidental outburst. It was a strategic dismantling. The Spurs hit 18 total three-pointers at a 40% clip, and the damage was concentrated among 3 key players. Harrison Barnes led all Spurs with 24 points. Julian Champagny added 22, and Devin Vassell was a menace from deep as well. This trio combined for a staggering 16 of the team's 18 successful three-pointers. When defenses focus all their attention on stopping a generational talent like Wembanyama in the paint, these are the kinds of nights that happen. Their sharpshooting performance provided the necessary firepower to create a comfortable lead, showcasing that this young Spurs team has more than one weapon in their arsenal and the maturity to exploit whatever a defense gives them. But the Rockets' problems weren't just on the defensive end. Their own offense collapsed under pressure. And when you look at the other side of the table, for the Rockets, this loss wasn't just about the Spurs' impressive shooting. It was a self-inflicted wound. A key factor in Houston's 5-game winning streak was their effective offensive execution. But that all fell apart against San Antonio's pressure. The Rockets coughed up a season-high 22 turnovers, a number that's going to hurt anyone, let alone when it's against a fast-paced Spurs squad. Kevin Durant, for all his greatness, had a season-high 8 turnovers, a critical flaw that completely undercut his scoring impact. And believe it or not, this has become a recurring problem for Houston. who came into the game as one of the worst teams in the league in limiting turnovers. When the Spurs turned up the intensity, particularly with their double teams and quick rotations, the Rockets folded. Their offensive rhythm, which often flows through Alperen Sengun's playmaking, evaporated. For Houston, the lack of a true, reliable floor general was glaringly obvious. Without a steadying presence, especially with their other playmakers struggling, the offense became disjointed and predictable. The Spurs feasted on these mistakes, converting Houston's turnovers into easy, fast break points and momentum-swinging buckets that kept them in control. This game was a harsh lesson for the Rockets. I mean, you can't be a contender when you're this careless with the basketball. The consequences of this loss extend beyond a single regular season game. They have major tournament implications. This game had a little extra juice because it was an Emirates NBA Cup group stage contest, and for the Rockets, this loss immediately puts their tournament hopes in serious jeopardy. The simple truth in this tournament is that a 0-2 start almost always means elimination. It's technically still possible to advance with a 2-2 record, but through the first 2 seasons of the Cup, every single team that's made it to the knockout rounds has gone 4-0 or 3-1 in their group. Houston is now staring down that daunting reality as they drop to 0-1 in West Group C. The pressure is on them big time when Cup action resumes next Friday against the Golden State Warriors. They have zero margin for error now. Meanwhile, the Spurs are sitting pretty at 1-0, giving them an early advantage in the group standings. This result means that while 29 of the 30 teams in the league are still technically in the running for a trip to Las Vegas, the Rockets' path just got incredibly complicated. For Ime Udoka's squad, they need to treat their next 3 group games like do-or-die playoff matchups if they want any chance of raising that cup. This high-stakes tournament format highlights the overall pressure facing a Rockets team built to win now. The Rockets' offseason was defined by a massive win-now push, headlined by the blockbuster acquisition of a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. They surrounded him with other established veterans like Clint Capela, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Josh Okogie, aiming to build a championship contender right away after a disappointing first-round playoff exit the previous season. But this strategy is not without risks, and the loss to the Spurs exposed some of the potential cracks. While Durant is still an elite scorer, his 8 turnovers in this game are a stark reminder that older players can have lapses in concentration and struggle with constant defensive pressure. The Rockets gave up significant assets, including a young player like Jalen Green, to get Durant. This puts immense pressure on Durant and the rest of the veteran core to perform at a championship level, and falling short in a tournament game to a younger rival is a worrying sign. Houston's roster is also built around an effective starting lineup, but their depth was exposed against San Antonio. The Spurs' supporting cast feasted on open looks, revealing that simply acquiring big-name veterans doesn't guarantee a complete, well-oiled machine. This team is under huge pressure to deliver, and this loss is an early indicator that the championship path won't be as smooth as they hoped. In stark contrast to Houston's immediate pressure is the promising long-term outlook for San Antonio. For San Antonio, this win is a massive statement that their rebuild is ahead of schedule. They are no longer the basement dwellers of the Western Conference. This team is showing real maturity, adaptability, and the kind of depth that can sustain success. The game plan against Houston was masterful. Withstand the physical play, adjust on the fly, and trust the open shooters. That speaks volumes about the coaching staff and the players' buy-in. Victor Wembanyama is a generational talent, and the team is clearly building a winning culture around him. The effective play of sporting players like Harrison Barnes and Julian Champagnie proves that San Antonio has assembled a versatile and dangerous roster. They have a perfect blend of Wembanyama's superstar potential, reliable veterans, and developing young talent. The future for the Spurs is incredibly bright. This win isn't just about one game or the NBA Cup. It's a signal to the rest of the league that the Spurs are a legitimate playoff contender right now and are building a dynasty in real time. They are a team on the rise, and other teams in the West better take notice. So, as we wrap this up, the major takeaway is clear. The Spurs are on the rise, demonstrating the kind of grit and adaptability that hints at a real playoff run this season. The Rockets, on the other hand, just got a harsh dose of reality. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more analysis, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.